They always said I'm wrong, but what they doing today? I think they want me gone, but I ain't going away. They told me I was wrong, but look at my ass today. Da 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 da.
Hey, hello everybody, what is going on? How is everybody? What's good on the internet? What's good in sports? I'm Akiem Balaam, aka LI495, welcoming you once again to yet another edition here on The Real Sports Talk of our weekend show, our Saturday morning show, 10 minutes on the clock. So as always, let's get right into it. So, of course, on Thursday Night Football, which is of course how I start these things around football season, Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, divisional rival matchup, AFC East, and it was Buffalo prevailing over Miami by a score of 19-14. Huge performer for Buffalo that game. C.J. Spiller, who, if I'm not mistaken, he had, I believe, almost 100 rushing yards. It was somewhere around 91, and he carried the ball around 22 times, if I'm not mistaken. Neither quarterback threw for over 200 yards. So really it was rushing and defense that really wrote the day for both teams, as a matter of fact, especially those late turnovers, those late interceptions. I think two of them that were thrown by Dolphins quarterback Ryan Tannehill towards the end of that game, when it looks like that they had a couple of chances to actually win, but a couple of late turnovers, some egregious interceptions really sealed the deal for the Bills on Thursday night as they won 19-14 over their AFC East rival Miami Dolphins, and which actually brings both teams to the same record. Both the Miami Dolphins as well as the Buffalo Bills are now 4-6. And this actually speaks to a truth that, of course, everybody has been harping on this year about the AFC. Both teams are at 4-6, the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins, and both teams still have an outside shot to make the postseason. Now, of course, we're starting to get into more and more postseason talk, of course, now that we're at Week 11. The way that it's currently constructed right now, the Houston Texans, the Baltimore Ravens, the New England Patriots, and the Denver Broncos would be your, along with the Indianapolis Colts and the Pittsburgh Steelers, would be your playoff teams. I believe that both of the prospective wild cards right now, they're at 6-4 at this point, but the way it is right now, with these teams being at 4-6, they still have an outside shot to make the playoffs. They're only 2 games out of the wild card. And of course, with all the mess that goes on with playoff scenarios and everything like that, so they actually still have an outside shot, believe it or not, to make the postseason despite being 4-6. That's probably not going to happen in the NFC this year, but it is going to happen perhaps maybe in the AFC if maybe Indy slips up. Or maybe if Pittsburgh starts to show some signs of weakness after the Ben Roethlisberger injury, but definitely the weakness of the AFC is definitely being put on display this year by the fact that these teams that are 4-6 still have an outside shot, 2 games under 500, and still have an outside shot to make the playoffs. It's just crazy, but ain't that the NFL for you? So into my Week 11 picks. Jaguars, Texans, no disrespect to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but that's a virtual bye week for Houston at this point. So Texans all day over their AFC South rival Jacksonville. Buccaneers and Panthers. I actually looked up an interesting stat, of course, just this morning about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're first in the league at stopping rush defense. So you cannot run on the Tampa Bay Bucs at this point. And, they're sort of an overlooked team at this point. Of course, everybody's talking about Doug Martin and the fact that he's making a case to be Rookie of the Year. But beyond that, and the fact that they have a pretty good defense, Tampa is a team that some people are going to start overlooking, but they actually have a shot. They have a very good shot this year. I think they're going to be 6-4 after this week. They're 5-4 right now. They've won 4 straight. I think they're going to beat the Carolina Panthers, and they're going to be 6-4 with a very good shot to make the postseason. Everybody's talking about Atlanta and New Orleans, but let's not overlook Tampa Bay. All of a sudden, just like this, they've won 4 consecutive, and they have a very good shot to make the playoffs. Tampa over Carolina. Cardinals over the Falcons. Everybody was high on the Cardinals at the beginning of the year, but you know what? The Cardinals have been just in total free fall at this point. And the Atlanta Falcons, of course, you know, there was that game last week against the New Orleans Saints, but New Orleans, or rather Arizona, is no New Orleans, and the Falcons are back at home, so Falcons over the Cardinals. Jets, Rams. There's not much words that can be described about all of the drama and BS that's going on with the New York Jets at this point. Players calling out Tim Tebow because, you know, here's my thing about this. If you're going to call out Tim Tebow, if you're one of the New York Jets, then you might as well be calling out your owner, the guy who signed your paychecks, Woody Johnson, because if it was not for Woody Johnson, he wouldn't even be on the New York Jets at this point with Tebow. So they only brought Tebow at this point, you know, to try and sell tickets, you know, to try and create a lot of media attention, as if they needed any more media attention that they already get playing in the #1 media market of the New York City greater metropolitan area, tri-state. So I don't know why they felt that they needed any additional buzz, but they had to sell tickets perhaps. But the whole thing about it is that it's a mess. If you're going to rip the New York Jets for bringing in Tebow, then you might as well rip your owner, Woody Johnson, for even bringing in the idea for even bringing in Tebow as well. So even though all that, I still like the Rams at home, because at this point, I just, you know, Mark Sanchez, Tim Tebow, me at quarterback, whomever it is, the Jets are a mess. Rex Ryan could be fired at the end of the season. Rams over New York. Colts, Patriots. Of course, everybody wants to see the Andrew Luck story continue, and it would be a definite feather in his cap to defeat the New England Patriots. But these are the New England Patriots, and they rarely lose at Gillette Stadium anyway. So Patriots over the Colts. So I think Indy will be at 6-4, and New England will be at 7-3. Bengals and the Chiefs. Bengals and the Chiefs. Have the Chiefs been relegated yet to Conference USA or the Big Ten? Really? Have they been relegated to Conference USA or the Big Ten yet? Because if they haven't, they probably should be. Now, they held their own for a while against the Pittsburgh Steelers even before the Roethlisberger injury happened. But the Chiefs are still the Kansas City Chiefs at this point. Worst team in football right now. Only had one win. They were just last week able to hold a lead against the team, but of course, being the Chiefs, that didn't hold up. So Bengals over the Chiefs, Packers over the Lions. Some people are actually predicting that this has an outside shot to be an upset. I'm not so sure about that. Packers will beat the Lions in Detroit. Eagles, Redskins, of course. No Michael Vick. Nick Foles would be starting against the Washington Redskins. Not so sure that's going to make a difference unless they stop the turnovers and give Nick Foles some protection for a change. Both teams are 3-6, so I can't really describe it all that much as an upset, but I'm still picking the Washington Redskins to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Browns, Cowboys, I'll take the boys in that one. Saints, Raiders. All of a sudden, of course, the New Orleans Saints is going to win this game. All of a sudden, they started the season 0-4. Now they're going to be 5-5. What about this? New Orleans Saints over the Oakland Raiders. Raiders just got embarrassed by the Baltimore Ravens last week, and the Saints offense is even better than that, perhaps even than Baltimore's. Drew Brees, the whole 9 yards, everybody there. Henderson, Graham, everybody there. New Orleans over Oakland. Chargers, Broncos. AFC West. I'm sorry. I'm picking the Denver Broncos to win this game because what has happened to Phillip Rivers over this season has just been astounding. What has happened to Phillip Rivers? Who is wearing the Phillip Rivers jersey? Because it does not look like it's the same Phillip Rivers that we're accustomed to seeing. Can he do anything these days except throw interceptions? He may wind up throwing more passes to people in Denver Broncos jerseys, to Denver Broncos defenders, than he may to his own team, and thinks that he's scoring touchdowns for it. At this point, may Phillip Rivers. Broncos over the Chargers. Ravens, Steelers. Of course, no Ben Roethlisberger for the Pittsburgh Steelers because he was knocked out. Concussions were really the story of last week. Vick, Roethlisberger, Cutler, Alex Smith. Concussions were really the story last week. But even though these Ravens-Steelers matchups are usually predicated on defense, I'm going to go with Baltimore on this one. I think I'm just going to go with Baltimore on this one. I also think Ray Rice and Joe Flacco will also have pretty big days. Also with Torrey Smith, he too, and Monday Night Football, Bears and the 49ers. This actually has most of these Monday night games have not been too good, but this one actually has a very good chance to actually be something watchable, and I give just a slight edge to San Francisco at this point, even without Alex Smith, so I'll go with the Niners at home over the Bears. So just to run down: Texans over the Broncos, Buccaneers over the Panthers, Falcons over the Cardinals, Rams over the Jets, Pats over the Colts, Bengals over the Chiefs, Packers over the Lions, Redskins over the Eagles, Cowboys over the Browns, Saints over the Raiders, Broncos over the Chargers, Ravens over the Steelers, and Niners over the Bears. My Week 11 picks. What are yours? Rate, comment, react, reply, add, and subscribe. Look forward to reading your comments as always, because I'm just one guy here on the Real Sports Talk, just talking about sports. So until next time on the Real Sports Talk, this has been another edition of 10 Minutes on the Clock. See you on the internet somewhere.
Just a little bit around the corner from fear. Be there by next year, where I'm going.